On behalf of Provost Vincent Del Casino, I'm very pleased to welcome you all today, both in person and online, to today's talk for the University Scholar Series. As many of you may know, this series aims to showcase the really important and groundbreaking research and scholarly activities of our esteemed San Jose State University faculty. So today we're very excited to welcome Dr. Chen, who will be speaking about AI for social good, an interdisciplinary undergraduate AI education project. Before we turn things over to Dr. Chen, we'd like to begin by sharing our San Jose State land acknowledgement. While we gather at San Jose State University, we are gathered on the ethno-historic tribal territory of the Tamien Ohlone, who were the direct ancestors of the lineages enrolled in the Muwekma Ohlone tribe and who were missionized into Mission Santa Clara, San Jose, and Dolores. The lands on which San Jose State University is established was and continues to be of significance to the Muwekma Ohlone tribe. We also recognize that the ancestors of the Muwekma Ohlone constructed and maintained the 3 Bay Area missions. Our campus extends to surrounding areas that held the Tupentak, a traditional roundhouse, which were once located at the historic Lope Inigo's land grant Rancho Bolsomí y Positas de las Animas, Little Wells of Souls, and also Marcelo Pion Cristobal's land grant Rancho Listac, which were places of celebration and religious ceremonies, as well as nearby ancestral shell mounds that served as the tribe's traditional cemetery sites and territorial monuments. San Jose State University also desires to honor the military service of the Muwekma who have honorably served overseas during World Wars I and II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, and who are still serving in the U.S. Armed Forces today. So before we turn things over to our speaker, again, we have a couple housekeeping issues to share. One is that live captioning is enabled for those of you who are joining us online. And this webinar is being recorded and can be accessed later at our University Scholar Series website hosted at the library. We're going to have a lot of time for Q&A, so we invite folks both in the room and online to use the QA function of the chat. If you're in person, just raise your hand and we'll have a microphone brought over to you so that everyone can hear the question. And we'd also like to give thanks to all the team members that make this possible. That includes folks in the Office of the Provost at our San Jose State University King Library, the School of Information Systems and Technology, and the Division of Research and Innovation. And so I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Chen. She is an associate professor in the School of Information Systems and Technology at the Lucas College and Graduate School of Business. Her research focuses on emerging technology educational for the social good. Dr. Chen's educational journey could be a fascinating talk in and of itself. She earned a BE in Information Security from Huazhong University of Science and Technology in Wuhan, China, an MS in Security and Mobile Computing from Aalto University in Helsinki, Finland, and a PhD in Computer and Communication Sciences from École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne in Lausanne, Switzerland. I probably did not pronounce that correctly, but I was excited to read it because it sounds like a really fascinating educational journey. But she's here today to discuss her work leading the multidisciplinary AI for social good, AI4SG education project. This project is sponsored by an NSF IUSE program and has engaged over 1,000 undergraduate students and generated over 200 innovation projects in over 30 classes across 3 universities. Undergraduate student achievements coming out of this project include awards at the CSU research competitions, entrepreneurship competitions, and incorporated startup and student first authored publications, which is really, really exciting in the heart of our teacher scholar mission at San Jose State. Dr. Chen also volunteers teaching computer science and AI in K through 12 schools. And so please welcome me in joining, and please join me in welcoming Dr. Chen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maggie, for the introduction, and thank you for coming to the talk, audience, both in person and also online. All right, I'll just dive into AI for Social Good project. So, okay, dial back to fall 2018 when I first joined San Jose State. And probably people are still remember the campfire 5 years ago. And also similar time, I was able to take a group of students to attend the very first IBM Call for Code international competition, where I witnessed marvelous minds from all over the world using IBM technology, including AI, cloud computing, Internet of Things, etc., to come across solutions for important global disasters, such as natural disasters, such as wildfire, earthquake, hurricane. And this is one example. And this is the group picture we took for the students, pretty much from School of Social Science, School of Computer Science, and also Business College. And you can, from the picture, probably can see the delight and excitement from the students who are attending those competition. And that made me wonder, can we bring that to our classrooms? And this is the birthplace. And yeah, a week later, I was thinking, let's do this experiment for 1 week to see how things went. And we spent a class about 75 minutes time to go over some of the basic concepts of AI to our students and ask them to identify some of the important social issues in your community. And then they will have a game of forming groups as a quote unquote social startups. And each of them will take a role as a CEO, CMO, etc. And then they will present their projects in front of our quote unquote judges. At that time are our colleagues, Dr. Tim Hill and Scott Jensen. And this is the picture where the winning team get a check from the teacher's bank. And that's from me. So that is the birthplace for AI for Social Good project. Fast forward 5 years later, more than 1,000 undergraduate students have participated, generated more than 200 students' innovation projects with 3 universities involved, more than 30 classes participated with with 14 publications and 11 media coverage and countless students' achievements that I'm not able to recall all of them. In addition to that, we're so proud and fortunate to have our partnership with the industry, with the tech industry, as well as consulting companies and the government sectors, such as City of San Jose, City of Los Angeles, nonprofit organizations, Silicon Valley Nonprofit Council, and also our university collaborators from Cal Poly Pomona and our King Library. Thank you, John, for supporting us. So what is AI for Social Good project? So we aim to develop AI learning modules to situate AI learning in students' communities and implement AI for social good modules among students in diverse disciplines and universities. And most importantly, generate evidence-based practices of culturally responsive AI for social good education. And especially, we are focusing around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and invite students to look at those goals and see whether you can find some of the goals aligning with the problems within your own community. And how does AI for social good curriculum look like? So there are maybe 3 components here. Number 1, students will identify social problems in their own communities. And again, aligning with the UN SDGs. And they will learn AI concepts and applications through hands-on labs and or case studies. And finally, they will learn AI innovation by either proposing ideas or prototyping AI-powered solutions to address social issues. So this is the official integrated module back in spring 2019, where students, it's a 2-month module. It's a little bit extended, where students, they form teams of 5, and then they actually went to, we have an exercise for students. It's called Be the Holmes, Sherlock Holmes, where they go to the streets, take pictures of issues you find in San Jose, such as homelessness, parking issues, trash, graffiti, and things like that. And then they will come into groups by the themes they identified. And then through the case studies about IBM Watson AI, they'll then propose their solutions again, form the gamified social enterprise or social startups. And this is a picture of their final presentation. And I still remember this is a team called Leave. They're trying to propose a project leveraging IBM Watson and Internet of Things and sensors to track and also incentivize users about their carbon footprints. And again, another highlight of this project is we always invite, and from this project, it's a great learning lessons for me because I got so inspired by students and realized how the classroom can become a catalyst for innovation and also co-creation of knowledge among students, because I'm learning so much from everyone, every project. And also becomes the enablers of local prosperity, where students, they're actively participating in their community and making contribution. And another highlight of this project is we invite guests from the industry or local government sectors. And this is a group picture of the winning team taking photos with our judges. And I want to also thank our Associate Dean, Dr. Varick, to support us to really get this very first module started. And I want to read this quote. We did an anonymous survey from students, and this is the quote that we collected, and I want to read to everyone here. What's made it even better was that I could not only see it being applied to the business world, but to helping society, the community around us in general. As future business people, innovators of the future, we have to realize what environment we're living in and work our hardest to combat these issues as they continue to grow worse. It was for the first time ever in my final graduating year that I felt so inspired to such an extent that with the work I'm doing, that I could finally visualize myself making a greater societal change. And not only see myself accomplishing it, but actually finding a yearning to do something more with my life and my abilities. So this is our first attempt of AI for Social Good module. And we also learned something for improvements. For example, it is a little bit long for students and also for any other instructors to integrate because it is 2 months. So we're thinking, can we make it a little bit more compact so that it's more reasonable and feasible for students and other instructors as well? And also the other question is, so far we're only talking about proposals, no hands-on work yet. And the other consideration of working business students who are not traditionally trained with a lot of technical or coding skills is, how can I enable them to do some hands-on skills while they don't feel overwhelmed, especially about AI? So we continue with the second experiment here. So for this one, we invited 2 guests to our classroom, and this is the guest we invited from City of San Jose, Mayor's Office of Technology and Innovation, who actually bring the problems for City of San Jose to the classroom to introduce to students, say, hey, this is a problem we're facing. Can you come up with some ideas about that? And also she brought the Excel sheet about the most frequently asked questions by the City Hall, where all residents came to ask. On the other hand, the next week, we invite another speaker, Dr. Michelle Zhou, who is the CEO and co-founder of Juji. And the reason is we found this platform extremely easy to use, even for non-tech people. So I just sent an email. Would you consider giving a demo or tutorial to our students for a whole morning? And I'm so glad and fortunate that she joined us and give 2 classes this tutorial, how to create a chatbot hands-on. And every student after class was able to create a chatbot after that. And the next 2 weeks, they just pick their own projects and create a chatbot. And later we collected some anonymous survey and students just feel, oh, I couldn't believe I was able to create a chatbot to address some of social issues in my community. And what we found from this experiment is, number one, it is super important to choose the appropriate technology that is suitable for the learners based on their age group, their disciplinary background, etc. And number two, it's important to select the relevant scenarios that students feel, oh, I know what the scenario is about. I can relate to that. And number three, aligning with their future career plan. And we really appreciate the real life data set or Excel sheet that our guests from San Jose, the government, brings to our classroom when students say, will get an exposure to what does it look like to work within the information system fields in the government sector. All right, so with this experiment, which went actually really well, we're considering, can we extend that to class? So with the support from our department, School of Information System and Technology, we started a course in spring 2020 called Digital Innovation. And the story doesn't go that smoothly as we expected. As you can probably recall, 1 month or 1.5 months into the semester, COVID started, everything just changed to remote learning. So there are 2 major issues we're facing. Number one, a lot of the social problems students identify in the first month might not be that pressing anymore, such as parking, such as traffic, as you can probably recall. And the second thing is, we're suddenly switching to Zoom, where most students at that time was not familiar with and didn't even know how we can collaborate on Zoom on innovation projects. So I still remember the first conversation we had and the first Zoom meeting we had for the class. And I just, with a little bit of courage, asked students, so here's an idea. We have to pivot so that your project has to change. It has to be AI-powered apps for social issues during COVID-19. Would that work for you? I can never forget the overwhelming stream of text from the chat box saying, yes, yes, yes. So we just all pivot into this experiment. And here is the screenshot of the final presentation that students are presenting. And on the right-hand side, those logos are the project that students came up with. And since this is an MIS elective, the students are more technical, so they're able to develop apps for the semester. And I want to share one story of what the projects might look like. Those are 3 students. I remember them so well because their first name all starts with J. So their names are Jonathan, Joel, and Joanna. And it's a coincidence they came together. But their project is called BiTech. So BiTech aims to provide communication systems or channel for healthcare professionals who need PPEs and masks, and the regular citizens who might want to donate. And I was asking, oh, that's a great idea. And how did you come up with this problem? And then Joel, who is at the students at the lower part of the screen, he said, oh, actually, I'm working at Kaiser. I'm working at the hospital, and I'm literally seeing how the healthcare professionals are facing mask shortage. And on the top, this Joanna and Jonathan, they said, oh, actually, we really want to help. Can we do that? So this is how they come up with the projects. And accidentally, the final pitch, because it's online, we have to do it remotely online. At that time, we had no idea how that would come come up with. And at the same time, we're contacted by guests from IBM and also ABC 7 News. Oh, I heard your students are doing some technology development for social good during COVID. That's fascinating. Can we join your students' final pitch on Zoom? And I had no idea how the students' project will really turn out, but we say yes. And the result is just fascinating. And here's one of the projects that are featured by ABC 7 News. This is a project called My Meals, where students are facing issues of cooking meals during COVID because they cannot get enough ingredients from the grocery shops. They're not good at cooking. So how about we take a picture and scan some of the ingredients from a pantry, and maybe some apps can make recommendations about recipe. Of course, eventually it's not fully implemented, but it's partially implemented as a prototype. And there are other projects that are also featured at in this news, ABC 7 News, and the link is at the bottom for people who are interested. So this is a great lesson for me as well, because I learned, number one, it is possible to transform suffering to empathy and innovation, just looking at the amazing examples from the students. And number two, how we can use this platform to transform social distancing to social connection through this project. Number three, how is possible for Zoom to provide this platform to extend the classroom to a global stage? Because we have 5 judges we invited, and 2 of them are not from, one of them is from, 2 of them are not from the United States. One of them is from Spain, and the other is from Switzerland. And number 4, how it is possible to connect the classroom to a community of partnerships. As you can see, eventually, a classroom presentation later became a kind of celebration of students' creativity and achievements to address social issues. And later, after the judges came back to their work, they write up some news to cover some of the ideas students came up with. And this is reported by Mr. Laurent Saveur, who is from UN Human Rights, that featured a project called Conserve E, which aims to help users who are sheltering in place to manage their high-rise electric bills. And gradually, we realize during COVID, education is another issue we're facing, not only for our own SJSU community, but also a lot of underserved community and population. So starting from fall 2020, we're giving students this prompt. How about we focus on education, especially the diversity issues of education during COVID? And again, I never failed to be amazed by students' projects, including how they can use AI at that point, using chatbots to support students with autism, students who are facing hearing loss, especially the younger kids in their elementary school, etc. And again, we learned that from the students' work. I'm constantly learning from them about how it is possible to have community inside and also outside the classroom, and also empower AI innovation with community assets students are bringing into the classroom. And also, because students are invited to explore those underserved community and population, they are better to investigate the diversity within their community, and therefore better understand why it's important to understand AI diversity. And here is a quote from, and again, the survey data we collected from students anonymously. A great example of improving the social good of others was just in the class itself. A lot of the group projects were based on helping communities of color, whether it's be gaining access or knowledge about food, or bridging a gap between education, between different levels of income. And I think it could be utilized in helping community of color. And another element we continue to develop in AI for Social Good project is, in addition to inviting judges to judge student projects and select the best ones, we actually give them the checks, but the checks are no longer deposited in the teacher's bank in our class, but we actually give them the voucher so that they can select a nonprofit organization of their choice that's related to the projects. And our project, our AI for Social Good project, will donate and here is the $50 on behalf of them. And so far, the whole project has donated to more than 20 nonprofit organizations with a variety of themes. And just to give an example of what students' project might look like in terms of education issues during COVID, here's one project that are later reported by our judge from IBM, who really highlight the importance of students' work about how we can potentially create a chatbot to support students who are facing mental health issues during COVID-19. Okay, as we're transitioning gradually out of COVID or the pandemic, we're wondering what might be new challenges or under-investigated challenges that we want to bring to the classroom. So we are again collaborating with IBM Call for Code to focus on sustainability issues that we are facing in the community, such as carbon emission, clean energy, waste management, biodiversity, etc. And by this point, and I want to say thank you to our colleague, Dr. Tim Hill, who gladly worked together to implement this module into his class as well. And this is what we learned through our educational research. Number one, students actually learn more about real-world sustainability issues through the project. And number two, they have way more confidence about their creativity after the project. Oh, I can come up with creative solutions. And they really enjoy the collaborative work, especially the different domain knowledge that students are bringing to the classroom. Starting from fall 2022, the AI for Social Good project has gone beyond SJSU, sponsored by National Science Foundation IU's program. And I'm very grateful for the team members from both the Chancellor's Office, Dr. Frank Gomez, and also Dr. Gabriel Granco from Cal Poly Pomona, Dr. Yunfei Ho from CSU San Bernardino, Dr. Heather Macias from CSU Long Beach, and Dr. Rachel Part from UNLV, who are bringing their expertise into our project. And it's really an enlightening experience to learn about the power of a multidisciplinary perspective on the same project. And the power of respect and learn from the diverse expertise and experience from people in diverse geographic locations, even though it's all within California. And also be surprised by the diverse outcomes based on the geographic location. And just last month, 2 months ago, this is the news from Cal Poly Pomona featuring Dr. Gabriel Granco bringing AI for Social Good to Cal Poly Pomona within the College of Letters, Art, and Social Sciences among students majoring in geography. And in the news, here's a quote from the student, Sophie Whitaker, who is a senior student in geography at Cal Poly Pomona. I never expected that I would be building a chatbot in my GIS or Geographic Information System class, but the aspect of geography that I'm focusing on for my majors is the environment, and it's my personal goal to end up in a job where I can help repair the damage that humanity has done to it. Because of this, I wanted to create a chatbot that would have a positive impact on both people and the environment. And I'm glad I got to do that by creating Pomona Trashbot. That is the name of their project. And in May this year, with the collaborative work from the team and also the support from CSU Office of Chancellor, we're able to launch the very first AI for Social Good CSU Undergraduate Innovation Symposium. And we have attendance from faculty, students, industry, government, and also the students' parents, because students who presented their project, they asked, our parents are so excited. We are presenting our project about AI at the CSU level, and a lot of parents joined the symposium. And I want to showcase, just briefly talk about some of the projects here. This is a project called Food Finder in order to address the issue of food insecurity. And it is created by a group of students from College of Business, majoring in MIS. So the idea of this chatbot aims to be to bridge between people, or especially students who are facing food insecurity, and also for individuals or organizations or companies who have more foods that they can, or facing food waste. And they're trying to create this chatbot to give students information about where's the nearest location they can get food. And you potentially can realize food insecurity is not just an issue in the Bay Area, in the Northern California, but also in Southern California. And here's another project called Zero Hunger. It's another chatbot created by students from Cal Poly Pomona in geography. And their mission is here's their mission. We intend to make food resources and assistance easier to access for destitute communities in Riverside County with the use of artificial intelligence. And here is an interface of their chatbot they created. So moving on from food insecurity to trash, right? Here's another project called Pomona Trash Bots, and just now we heard the creator who shared her reflection. So basically, this chatbot provides information to students who might need to, not just students, but general public who might need help in recycling for their trash, etc. And again, you probably realize trash is not just a problem in Southern California. So let's fly back to Northern California, to San Jose State University, where students who, some of the students who are actually living near Santa Cruz, they realize the value and how we need to protect our ocean. So this is a project called Trash What's That? In addition to building the chatbot to educate the general public about the harm of trash, they also want to educate the general public how computer vision might help to identify and categorize trash, especially for the ocean that might be under investigated. And this is another project called Water, the Water Bot, that aims to help the public raise their awareness of saving water, especially the water during shower and etc. And I really want to highlight this team. As you can see, we tend to, there is the stereotype that maybe they're the tech or AI industry. Actually, there's a diversity issue. There's a diversity issue of AI in the industry where there's more participation of male than female. And I also want to highlight this team. As you can see, this is a group of female students. And at the very beginning, we usually had a survey at the beginning of the class asking them what might be some of the fears of this class. And we see some responses like, I don't know whether I can create anything I don't know whether I have a confidence for creating AI technologies. And after the class, we're so proud that the whole group created a wonderful chatbot for the water conservation issue. So moving forward, what are the other goals or long-term goals for this project? Number one, continue to build the partnership with the communities, governmental sectors, and nonprofit organizations. And number two, how we can create university community industry ecosystem to cultivate social technical innovation, competency, diversity, and cultural responsivity. And here I also want to mention the AI for Social Good project does not only stay within undergraduate education. And I always feel so proud and enlightened when because I'm also volunteering teaching at the high school, especially the girls in computer science. And how wonderful it is to see how the female young minds can come up with chatbots and created chatbots that address important social issues during COVID. And the ecosystem here also means our SJSU students who have been trained in our AI for Social Good project can actually become peer mentors or near peer mentors for those high school students and inspire them to pursue different career paths. And lastly, increase public AI literacy and engagement. One thing that I didn't plan, but really pleasantly surprised me is how much our students talk about their projects with their parents and their community, and how the community gain a little bit more exposure about AI and some of the potential to use AI. And I want to end with a few lessons I learned to share with everyone. And again, this is a picture taken by one of our judges from IBM. It's another project that are presented in the spring semester that helps using a Watson Assistant or chatbot to support EV or educates users more about electric vehicles. So here are lessons we learned. Number one, encourage students to learn technology relevant to their own experiences. Number two, empower students to leverage their cultural assets to create solutions relevant for their communities and future career. And number three, enable students to explore the diversity, equity, and ethics of their communities and also AI. Here are the references of the findings or lessons I shared in today's presentation, and also want to highlight the publications here with the stars. Those are participated and contributed by our undergraduate students, and some of them are first authors. And before we end, I just want to say thank you for everyone who contributed to the project, including the Office of Research and Research Foundation, who funded different stage of this project, which allowed us to go for an external grants that can make the project happen now. And also our colleagues and the leadership team at the School of Information System Technology and Lucas College of Business. And also I want to say thank you to all of our students and student assistants who participated in this project. And one thing we didn't mention is, even though we have the projects every semester and we invited so many judges to our classes, a lot of them gradually are returning alumni who are right now industry professionals and come back to be the judge and support our students and become their role models. And this is another way I want to emphasize another pleasant surprise and also the meaning of building the ecosystem. That's all for my presentation, and thank you so much. And I would love to have more discussion and Q&A with all of you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chen, for walking us through your really great AI for Social Good project, we've got plenty of time for Q&A. And so I'd like to invite people to take a moment and really think about what you heard about this project. What are some of the questions that you may have emerging? There may be some questions already submitted via the chat, but I'm going to use my privilege as the moderator to jump the line. And Dr. Chen, thank you so much for sharing this really great work with us. I'm curious to hear, it's been interesting to see the development of where this started in 2018 to what it's become today. And I wonder, just for you as an educator, what has been one of the ways that this project, engaging with the students, has transformed you and your understanding of this work?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And first of all, I really appreciate this opportunity and this event and all the organizer, the opportunity that I can present, share my work, because it's a nice way for me to really reflect the projects in 5 years. And there's so much I learned and keep constantly being inspired by students because I'm constantly learning from them. And and currently there are other instructors who are also trying to experiment the module into their classes. And the first thing I share with them is you can leave some room for uncertainty and vulnerability to acknowledge that we don't know everything and we are learning from students. So that is the most powerful lessons I learned from students in the past and keep me being more open-minded and learning from our students.
Love it. Thank you. Maybe you would like to take a question from the online chat. In the meantime, if someone here would like to be prepared to share a question after.
So here's one question. Can you share a little bit more about encouraging students to leverage their cultural assets to better engage with their communities? All right. So when we're talking about cultural assets, we're always thinking about students, how we can identify how we can identify ourselves, and that can be their racial backgrounds or gender, their community backgrounds, maybe their nationality and things like that. So one of the series of projects that have really impressed me a lot is, maybe I'll give one example. Back in fall 2021, there's a project where students came up with a chatbot that aims to use computer vision, integrating computer vision to capture the gestures from deaf students. And I was really impressed. Oh, I didn't have so much thought around the students who are deaf so far. So I asked the students, oh, that's a great problem. And that's a great project you come up with. How did you come up with the project? And one student, he said very proudly, do you know, both of my parents are deaf and they're all working in the California Deaf School, supporting, educating their kids. They're having a lot of struggles during COVID. And this is why I think this is an important issue for us to work on. And they came up with a fascinating project. So I just want to say that maybe one project can illustrate the aspect of cultural assets. And at the same time, we intentionally, at the very beginning of the project, with the support of Dr. Heather Macia from CSU Long Beach, give students this activity, a chart, ask them to use the identity flower for them to identify which of the aspects that you belong to, and enable and support them to think about belonging. So those are different elements and continue to explore in terms of cultural assets.
Thanks. Excuse me. Thanks for a great talk and for all the work you've done on this project. I think you mentioned that it was important to pick technology that met the learners where they were. And I assume that part of what that means is that you're not diving under the hood of the AI, right? You're using packages that allow you to put a chatbot together, for instance. To what extent did the students in this program have to grapple with what the biases or limitations of the technology itself might be?
Yes, so that's another project that we were not able to include in today's talk, but so far we have another experiment we have been doing for the past 2 years is the educational pedagogy activity called AI ethics debate. So students, they are put into 5 groups to around 5 topics: AI in general, robotics, conversational agents, natural language processing, and what is the other one? Computer vision. So they chose one topic, and then the students, the group of 10 students, are divided into 2 teams. One is the con team, the other is the pro team. So basically, they will need to pick a side. So let's say they choose the pro team of computer vision. The whole team needs to do their research about what are some of the dangers and risks and etc. around the issue of computer vision. And similar with the pro team. And by the way, I told them the team you're picking does not necessarily mean this is your own opinion, but we want to use this pedagogy so that they can pull audience to 2 extremes. And then they come to the discussion to come to a middle point. And in this way, we see both extremes of positive side of AI and extreme dark side of AI. So that is one way we're addressing that. And eventually, for the AI for Social Good projects, which we were not able to show today, students also need to mention what might be some of the important ethical issues that involve in the project you proposed, and then address solutions. So that with that, we're trying to train students to be responsible designers and creators of AI systems as much as they can. Thank you, Dr. Kaufman.
Okay, maybe next we'll go to the chat. And the next question is, what are your future AI for social good plans?
Yeah, so far we are trying to, if possible, with people who are interested, build the momentum of AI for social good. And by building momentum, number one, continue to collaborate with industry, because so far we see more and more focus and emphasis in the industry about AI for social good, especially involving students. And number two, really see, are there any ways potentially we can collaborate and expand this project, including AI for social good in K-12 settings? Right now, we're already collaborating with rural counties in California, in the Mendocino County, to roll out this kind of educational AI education competition. And the other line of potential broadening the impact is to involve more faculty from different disciplines, and even beyond SJSU, more CSU campuses, to continue with the project to bring more benefits to students, and also we learn from them mutually. So those are different directions that we're considering for the project.
Okay, I think next we have a question here in the room.
Dr. Chen, I just want to say thank you for the presentation. Really learned a lot about AI and education for social good. I was curious about like data science and analytics, since I know, especially with AI, and a lot of these projects involve massive amounts of data that you have to like analyze and to collect. I was curious, how do you use data science and data analytics, any data in your projects that you have done throughout?
Yeah, thank you for that. So basically, we have so basically, in the AI for Social Good project itself, we're not heavily involved in data science. But the reason is, so far, the students I'm working with, they don't have extensive technical background, and potentially will need more extensive training in all this statistics and machine learning, etc. So that's why we mentioned it is important to focus on the audience and who they are and what levels of tools they can adopt. And this is also the interesting aspect about AI, because if you're thinking about AI, people at different age group and different background, they all get interaction with AI and also can use AI in different disciplines. So for AI, there's different levels of abstraction, right? So for students, the audience who may have less technical backgrounds, they may need a higher level of abstraction, a little bit more black boxed. For students who might have more training in statistics, STEM, and computer science, etc., it would be really helpful for them to dive more into that. And I usually share with my students in College of Business, I told them this is the exciting potential of what AI can do for our communities. But that's not all. If you really want to go deeper, here are the paths. And those are the subjects you may want to consider dive deeper. So to that sense, I would consider AI for social good group project is a kind of bridge for students at different backgrounds. If they are not best in the technical details, etc., they can focus more on the application level. For students who are more interested to dive deeper, then we use this as a way to enhance your interest. And then for data science, and again, we're not able to do a lot within one micro insertion. So for data science and data analytics, we are with the hard work from our colleagues, Dr. Leslie Albert, we are implementing the data analytics in another course, but that's independent from AI for social good.
In a way, I feel like your answer to that question segues to the next one in the chat, which is how can we get involved in AI for social good projects as computer science students, but say students from any particular major or background, if they're really excited about this, how can they get in touch with the project leaders or get involved?
All right, thank you for that. I really appreciate this question. And that's also one of the reasons we want to share our work and build our partnership. And so far, I have to say, we only, among the students who finished that, there is one startup formed by former students through a series of training and competitions through the competitions supported by College of Business, Silicon Valley Innovation Challenge, Entrepreneurship Competition. He started this startup, and his name is Sam Gupta, and our lovely students who, I want to quickly share that story, even though it's a little bit digression. So the students came from a finance background, not really having a lot of background in technology at all, but because of all the AI project he did. So right now, he is a data scientist at F5 Networks, coming back to support our students, and also almost finishing his master's in data science at UC Berkeley, and really changing his direction, what he's interested because of the exposure that he gets. In the future, he said his interest in leveraging his background in finance and accounting and AI and data science to create his own startups to better empower his startup. So that's one quick question. That's one quick example. But how students can form startups, I have to say, I don't have all the capability. That's exactly why I'm learning so much and leveraging the resources from our colleagues at San Jose State. And I want to introduce a few, I cannot introduce, but I can mention a few wonderful programs from SJSU, including the Silicon Valley Entrepreneurship Center hosted by Lucas College of Business, and also the startup hosted by the Division of Innovation at the Office of Research and Innovation. So those are, I believe, they are providing a lot of wonderful resources for students who are really interested to go further and start their startups. So this is that's the answer to the question. And thank you for that question.
We have a few more minutes for questions. I wonder if there's anything else that has emerged here in the room, or maybe folks joining us online have time to formulate another question and put it into the chat. And maybe you don't have a question per se, but what's something that resonated with you or that you found really exciting in what you heard here today? Yeah, thank you.
I think what I learned is that the 3 key points you mentioned focus on the student's experience, set it at a level that they can understand and do something about it instead of trying to do something that may be too technical, because you don't have to be technical to do AI for social good.
Thank you so much for the comment. And I want to add a little bit on top of that is, this is the idea when we're starting this project, because we want to make sure the project can support the needs of different students. For students who might not be most interested in technical skills, they can feel comfortable. And for students who are interested and want to share a little bit, for a lot of students after taking the course, because I've been connecting with students on LinkedIn, it's very heartening to see a lot of students after that, they're taking and completing certification about data science and machine learning and AI after the course. Basically, maybe serving as a bridge for students who want to go deeper or for students who want to go broader in their application or in their career.
And just to build on the takeaways and reflections here, I appreciate your ending with these three kind of key points, takeaways from the project. And something I find very powerful about your work is that it gives students the opportunity when the problems of the world can seem very overwhelming. And it seems like, how are we ever going to tackle and really address some of the major issues that confront us in different, areas of society? This is like, it empowers students to feel like, yes, I can create a solution. This is a starting point, and it starts in this project in the class, but then can grow into something that takes on a life of its own. And that's really exciting to see.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maggie. And also I want to say, students, they usually walk away by understanding, maybe I cannot change the whole world issues or the community, but number one, I learn better about my community and appreciate it more.
It's really beautifully stated. Any final comments or questions? We have one back here.
I think similarly to what other people have kind of mentioned upon, nowhere in this lecture do I hear anything about profits or economics or politics. So just want to make that comment. There's no talk about money or profits, so that's good. Thanks.
So
yeah, we're emphasizing the social good.
yeah, thank you for the comments. And we want to continue building the social capital and kindness and empathy capital in our next generation of students.
Okay, well, maybe with that, we can wrap up and let's have one final round of applause for Dr. Chen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your work. Thank you all for attending, and we look forward to seeing you at the next University Scholar Series discussion. Thank you.